Well, hello and welcome to another episode of The Mark Medley Show. And this is your host, Mark Medley. As always, I am thrilled to be with you, to share with you once again. And today's episode actually began, or it came to mind because of a conversation that I had with a student on this past Friday. I had met with all of my students on Friday morning and shared with them how I was looking for the entire school building to learn our mission statement and our vision statement by memory. I wanted them to learn it as well as memorize it, and that was for everyone in the building, myself included as the principal, as well as all the teachers, as the students and the rest of the staff, that I really wanted folks to understand what our school was all about. So one of the ways of doing that is really understanding the mission and the vision of the school. So I ask everyone to memorize it. So what I did was I actually threw out a contest. Now, I'm not a big fan of these contests in terms of if you do this, you'll get that, because one of the things we're also trying to teach too is intrinsic value compared with extrinsic value, that every time you do something does not always mean you have to get a reward. However, to get some excitement around learning and memorizing the mission and vision statement, I threw out $25 gift for each one. So if you were a student and you came down and you were able to recite both the mission and the vision, you had the opportunity to earn $50. If you could recite one, you had the opportunity to earn $25. So sure enough, as soon as I finished the assembly, I had boys running up to me ready to recite. I said, no, give it, an hour or so, and then whoever's the first one come down to my office and recite it, he will have the opportunity to win either one or both, the vision and the mission, or one or the other. So about an hour later, student came down, said, now I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be able to do both. However, I will do the vision statement. I'm not going to do the mission, but I will do the vision. So sure enough, student recites the vision statement. So he had earned the $25 for that. About an hour later, second student comes down and I tell him right off the bat, now look, the prize for the vision statement is gone. However, if you can recite the mission statement, you have the opportunity to earn the $25 for that. So sure enough, student now recites the mission statement. So at that point, the contest is over. And I know a lot of the other students, they were complaining and whining. It wasn't fair. You didn't do it long enough. But I had said the first one come to my office. Those two students were the first ones to come to my office, and they won the prize. Half of the day goes by, and another student comes down to my office, and he has the mission and vision paper with him. And he says, Mr. Medley, this is hard. I said, what do you mean it's hard? It's hard to memorize all these words. It's so many words in here that you have to memorize. And I said, and his name was Leo. I said, Leo, folks memorize things much longer than that. And then I went on to share with him, because I have two poems hanging on my wall. I have If by Rudyard Kipling, and I have Invictus hanging on my wall, William Ernest Henley. Those two poems I had to learn whenever I was pledging the greatest fraternity in the world, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. As I was pledging that fraternity, those were at minimum two of the poems that we had to learn while we were on, as they call it, online, as we were pledging. And I shared with Leo how, I memorized those poems, and they were much longer than our mission statement and our visions. And he said, well, Mr. Medley, that's hard. And I said, yes, it is hard, but if you practice and put in the work, you'll be able to get it. And again, he kept, well, Mr. Medley, that's hard. I said, well, Leo, there's a quote by Michael Jordan that says, it's been his experience that if you put in the work, you will get your desired results. And I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines, that in order to get the desired results that you want, you have to be willing to put in the work. He looked at me again, said, Mr. Medley, this is hard. Some of the words I don't know. I said, okay, so then what you do is you break it down for the words that you don't know. You underline them, you figure out what the words mean, and then you now can read it, and again, you start memorizing it. But Mr. Medley, this is hard. I said, Leo, I understand it's hard, but there are things in life you're going to do that's going to be hard. So he still looked at me again and said, I don't think I can do this. This is hard. I said, yes, you can, Leo. You can do it. I said, now, not for nothing, being transparent, being honest, your principal has not memorized this yet himself. However, come up with a system, come up with a way that would help you to memorize. And I shared with him how when I meet people for the first time, I play little games with myself to help me remember their name. It might be something on their face. It might be something, a certain characteristic about them. Or I'll have them recite their name as soon as we meet. Or I'll make up a little game and associate their name with something. And I used him as an example. It says, for example, your name would be very easy for me to remember because my astrological sign is Leo. I was born in August. I'm a Leo. So now me meeting you and your name being Leo makes that very easy for me to remember. The next time I see you, he said, oh, but my name is short. I said, no, it has nothing to do with it. The technique works whether it's a short name or a long name. Once again, so Mr. Mc, but it's hard. Okay, it's hard. So I said, let me tell you something, what's going on with your generation. You all want the quick fix. You want everything fast and you want it now. I said, that's the issue with this generation. You want everything now and you want it quick. So he looks at me and he smiles and he says, Mr. Medley, you're right. And I said, Leo, this is the deal. Because you all want everything quick and fast, you get frustrated when it doesn't come to you quick and fast. We're in school. We're in a school setting with academics, where in many instances, academics do not come quick and fast. You have to study. You have to read. You have to practice. You have to do it sometimes over and over again until you get it. So he's looking at me. I said, but see, that's what has to go. I said, this is what the issue is, particularly because we were in an academic setting. We were in my office, the principal's office in a school. This is what is going on. We're in a microwave society where everyone wants everything quick, fast, and now. So I said, Leo, the frustration comes in because in most things that we do, it doesn't come quick, fast, and now. And then when it doesn't come quick, fast, and now, you want to quit. He looks at me, he smiles again. I said, so right now, you're already at the point with the mission statement and the vision statement that because you're not getting it the first time you read it, you're ready to quit. He looks at me and smiles again. So I asked him, I said, Leo, you play any sports? I said, what's your favorite sport? Basketball, football, baseball, soccer, tennis, what is it? No, I really don't have a favorite sport. Okay. So I said, I can't use the analogy I wanted to use. But then he turns right around and says, but I intend to play on a football team. I said, oh, you intend to play on a football team. I said, you do understand that once you get on the football team, the coach is going to hand you a playbook. He looked at me, he said, a playbook? I said, yes, a playbook. Doesn't matter if you play offense or defense, you're going to get a playbook and you're going to have to memorize those plays. So he throws up his hand and says, oh my God, football is going to be hard too. I said, Leo, if you get on the football team and if you're on offense and the quarterback calls the play, you're not going to be able to go run and get a book to see what is the play that he just called. If you're on defense and the captain calls a play, you're not going to be able to go get a book to figure out what play did he just call. He said, oh, it's going to be hard. I said, Leo, you're still missing the point. Anything worth having, you're going to have to put the work in. Yes, it's going to take practice. It will take practice. So it was a wonderful conversation with a young student, and hopefully by the time we finish, because he did leave with the resolve to go practice, study, and learn the mission statement and the vision statement. But it was very revealing to me why we're not getting what we hope to get from our students, because the expectation in their mind is it's going to be a quick fix. The other expectation in their mind, this was another experience that I had in the school, is that someone is always going to give them something. They do not connect earning with receiving. Everything is always about giving them something. I'm walking through a class, and that might have been Friday or either Thursday as well, and the student says, Mr. Medley, let's take a look at my notebook. I want you to see the 100 Mr. Such and Such gave me. We flipped another page. I want you to see the 80 that Mr. Such and Such gave me. I want you to see the 0 that Mr. Such and Such gave me. And so I looked at them and they looked at me and I said, well, that's an interesting choice of words that you use, boys, when you said gave you. And I said, do you understand in the school setting that teachers don't give you anything? You earn whatever it is that you get. So I said, let's go through this again. Mr. Medley, look at the 100 I earned. Mr. Medley, look at the 80 I earned. Mr. Medley, look at the 0 I earned. And I try to help them connect the dots between teachers aren't giving you anything. And see, this is where the conversation that I had with Leo about quick, fast, and now connects to this whole notion of someone always having to give them something. So not only are they expecting everything quick, fast, and now, they're expecting everything to be given to them without having to do anything. Like, I don't have to do anything, but my parents, my teachers, my friends are going to give me something. So that's where this whole notion of teachers giving grades, and I tried to help them understand, no, teachers don't give grades, you earn grades. So I was having a conversation with the guidance counselor, and we were talking about how, when we were kids, and I shared with her, in my house as a child, there was no such thing as a boy chore and a girl chore. It was me and my sister. There were chores. There was work that needed to be done. The chores were split, and it was not split by gender. So for me, as a male, I dusted, I vacuumed, I washed dishes, I ironed, I mopped. Whatever there was to do in the house, both of us had to do it. I ironed me and my dad's clothes. My sister ironed me and my mom's clothes. My sister and I had alternate dish nights. And my dad washed dishes on the weekend. My mom cooked. My dad washed dishes on the weekend. My sister and I split all the rest of the other chores. And it did not matter by gender. So that's why I tell folks all the time. Me personally, while I desire to be with a female, a woman companion, a woman partner, what have you, I don't have to have one, because there is nothing in the house that I can't do that a woman can't do. And I tell folks all the time, there is nothing that a woman can't do that I can't do other than have a baby. That's the one thing I cannot do that a female can do, is I cannot birth a child. But anything short of that, whatever a woman can do, I can do. Keeping a house, I can do. In some respects, I'll probably keep a house better than many females. So as far as aesthetics, as far as decorations, as far as cleaning, as far as cooking, as far as whatever it is to take care of yourself, that I have no problem. But the reason I was able to do that is because that's how I was raised. I was not raised to expect that just because I asked for, I was going to get. I was not raised that because I was in the toy store throwing a tantrum that my mom and dad was going to buy that toy. That was not the case. That was not what's going to happen. I was not raised that way, compared with so many of our children and students today are being raised in a way that they feel like if they ask, they're supposed to get. So we have students who will not do homework, will not do classwork, will fail every class, and yet they will come strolling in with $300 sneakers. $300, as they call them sometimes, tennis shoes or athletic shoes or what have you. $300 for sneakers. So, of which they didn't have to do anything to earn them. It was just given to them. So they have this whole concept of something being given to them all the time compared with something being earned. They have this whole concept of it's going to be quick and easy compared with, no, you're going to have to put the time in. Now, if you don't believe me, talk to a young person and see if what I'm saying in this particular episode does not bear out. Because that is the thing. And it's not just for the children. Many of our adults are in this microwave, quick fix environment, feeling as if everything has to come now. And just life just does not work that way. So this episode came about because of conversations I was having with various people in my school, whether it was students, whether it was staff members. But just understand, and for those of you, as you listen to this, you've listened this far, everything is not going to come immediately. It's going to take putting in the work. It's going to take putting in the time. No one is always going to be handing you and giving you anything. You have to earn it. And that's the way life works. Well, this is another episode of The Mark Medley Show. Again, I get an opportunity to share some thoughts. You can agree or disagree, because the objective of the show is not always to obtain agreement from you. So you can agree, you can disagree, you could want to debate, but the hope is at least it gave you something to think about in terms of perceptions and why we may be getting what we're getting. All right. Always, you can go to my website, markamedley.com. That is the portal to everything. That is the hub. That is the door. That is the opening. If you go there, you go to all of my social media sites. Anything that you want to know about me, just go to the website, markamedley.com. If you are an author, I am formulating my show calendar for my radio show, The Reading Circle with Mark Medley. And if you're an author, go to the website, go to the contact form, or either call the 800 number. If you want to be on the show, it's on Saturday mornings. The guests come on live at 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're game for that and you're an author, you want to be on the show, go to my website, markamedley.com, fill out the contact form, or either call the 800 number and leave a message, and we will get you scheduled for the show. Again, everything is not quick and easy.